Hello, this is War with a Mate with me, James.
Me, Andy.
The two hosts of War with a Mate. Do you think we should do like a little sing-song at the start of each episode?
I'm so strongly against that.
We could do an a cappella thing. Bit of a Motown thing, maybe?
No.
Oh, I was waiting for you to harmonise with me.
Why would you ever expect that?
I thought we maybe rehearsed it at a time that I don't remember.
We're not that kind of friends.
Ah, I see. We're just friends for the podcast.
No, we're not barbershop friends.
Well, if we're not barbershop friends, Andy, what are we? Why don't you introduce the premise of the podcast to any newcomers?
Well, we're two friends playing SBI's campaign for North Africa, the possibly unfinished behemoth. And we're going to be playing every week and giving you guys an update on how we're doing.
That's it.
Currently doing... we're currently about halfway through a six-turn scenario for us to get used to the game, and then we'll be jumping on to the 111-turn scenario when we're done.
And do you feel like we've got used to the game yet, Andy?
Again,
There's not much more that can be said about this part, is there? I feel like we've already said all this.
we said the premise, yeah.
You know what I've found, Andy?
Yeah.
I'm getting to the point in this where it feels like it's the same fucking thing every week.
Well, it's better than we're gonna start soon.
It is, but not for long. Soon that's gonna be something I miss.
Oh, okay.
I feel like as the year...
And we do different stuff every time. Is it just that bit? Because that is going to be the same every time.
I think it's that it feels like there's no end in sight, is there, really? I wax and wane
This
between...
is an interesting level. We've entered a new part of your psychological breakdown, which is why we're doing this, so...
I'm starting to worry.
Okay, you weren't... you were fine during the game session.
I know, I think there's just something now when I'm thinking about what we're doing. This is very raw, just off the dome stuff. This is just going to go on forever.
Like 8 to 10 years, yeah.
No, 8 to 10 years is not the realistic time scale we're looking at here. It's much, much longer than that.
Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. That's sort of why we're doing this, eh?
I said,
Chin up, buddy.
Do you remember my New Year's resolution last year, Andy?
No.
It was to not get angry at the game anymore.
Okay, that's... Well, you're nearly there. You nearly did it.
I'm nearly there. I'm not angry at the game yet.
Good.
But...
It's 2 or 3 weeks.
the year is nearly done. And I can feel myself, after a year of playing this thing, starting to lose an aspect of patience with it. I'm still enjoying the gameplay.
Okay, good.
I'm still finding fun moments. I'm enjoying the air combat, which we did today. We resolved some of that. That was good. I enjoyed that satisfaction. The to and fro of using our Air Force to really stick it to the other guy. I enjoy watching the land movement get planned out and figure out where it is that the units are going to go and what kind of crazy tactics I can try to win over this conflict.
Okay, so that's most of the game you're enjoying.
I enjoy the parts of the game. The game as a whole, I don't enjoy.
It's just made of parts you enjoy.
No, it's more than the sum of its parts.
Well, that's a nice thing to say.
And the sum of its parts are fine to play.
Okay.
Enjoyable, even. What it becomes when you put it all together is something that we never should have started.
But we have.
We have.
We're locked in.
We are locked in.
This is fun.
I know the gameplay.
No, the doubt in your eyes is fun.
I'm just worried, Andy. I'm worried that I'm going to start to become resentful of this game. And it's not to say I won't see this through. I will see this through if it kills me.
Okay, yeah, because we saw this coming. We knew there were going to be ups and downs, not just in terms of gameplay, but...
It's just been a while that I haven't had the downs.
So they've sort of just come and hit you.
Sort of, yeah.
Okay.
I think, over the last couple months when I've been really hyped about how quick we're going to finish the game,
Yeah.
I think me realizing that 10 years isn't quick is just starting to come around now. And I also don't think it's 10 years.
Okay. You should have realized 10 years is a long time.
I know.
You should have just known that.
I know. But instead, we have this now. This is me This is me telling you it's far too long. Well, we don't deserve this, surely.
Deserve what?
We're not right for this.
That's part of why we're doing it. I feel like I'm having to explain the premise of the show to you.
I feel like it's starting to dawn on me what we were doing, though. For a while, it was abstract.
Okay.
But now that I can look back at comfortably a year and say that that's what this year has been, I'm realizing what that year has consisted of.
It's been a good year.
It's had fun moments. It definitely has. It's had moments of slog and confusion and so much bookkeeping. So much bookkeeping, Andy.
Okay.
You do realize how much time we spent on these fucking spreadsheets?
Yeah. I've spent more time on them than you.
I know. And isn't that frustrating?
No.
Why?
I'm on an upswing.
Oh, no, we can't pendulum this. I need to bring you down here with me.
Tough, I'm up here.
No, get down. Get down.
It was a good one today. Why is it dawned on you today?
I think that's why.
Is it because it's the end of the year, or because this was just fine?
I don't know what it was.
Okay.
It was when I turned on the microphone today that something's changed.
Oh, so it was literally just
now.
Okay. This is the good part. This is the fun part. This is the part. There's no bookkeeping.
Yeah, there's no bookkeeping for this part. This is the easy part, but I mean, if I'm using this as an accountability tool, which is what we started off the podcast as, this is me doing that again. I need this to anchor me because this is becoming a long project, Andy.
It's not becoming a long project. It just is a long project.
That's what's bothering me. So today, what did we cover? It was up stage 2 of turn 3.
We resolved the air stuff.
We did. We got through the air combat.
Had a big old fight.
So we started off. I bombed some of your stuff.
Yeah, we started with a fight over the 4th Indian.
Yes, that was the first one.
Yeah. Oh, just grabbing your notebook.
Yeah, I bombed the 4th first.
And I did extremely badly on shooting stuff down.
Yes, you did. You took out some of them, technically. I'll not rag on you too hard, but you shot down 3 planes, this looks like. Yeah. Yep. You shot down 3. One of them actually got back to base.
And one of them
pilot
was
did anyway.
Shot down by Baxter.
Yes. So you did. Maybe that's what this is. So Baxter, Edwin or Edward?
Edward Baxter.
Edward Baxter,
pilot.
A pilot from very early in the scenario. One of Andy's pilots reared his ugly head again, and he shot down one of my planes, albeit not a great one. It was my C-307s, 3097s, something to that effect. They're my worst planes in terms of bombing. They have 2 TAC air usually. They have 9 maneuverability. They only had 3 TAC air because of the numbers that bolstered them. And they have 4 bombs apiece. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, they're not great.
No, they're terrible. They're piss poor. If anything, I'm glad he shot down one of those and not something worthwhile. Because that's what Baxter does. He goes for the vulnerable. The pilot that he killed last time was very ill. Polio.
It's a mercy killer.
Yeah, no, it's not. Polio was treatable. I'm not actually sure if that's true.
I think it may have been becoming treatable.
Yeah, I don't know that it is actually treatable in this period of time. But either way, Baxter is an opportunist and a scoundrel.
Yeah, he's a fighter ace.
And the fact that he got away with this... No, he's not an ace. He's not an ace.
He's a pilot.
He's a plucky guy with a chip on his shoulder.
Sort of Han Solo type.
No. We already had a conversation about Han Solo earlier today. And we came to the conclusion that he's a scumbag. For anyone who isn't aware, the original cut of Star Wars is being released fairly soon. It's early December 2025. And it's getting released again soon in cinemas. And Han Solo shot first. Not Greedo. Han shot first.
Okay.
I just need that to be put on the mic. That needs to be put out there.
He's a cool pragmatist.
He's not a cool pragmatist. He's a self-righteous Bad man.
Well, either way, he shot down. Well, Greedo and my version of him shot down one of your planes.
He did, and I'm not going to forgive him. Nor you by proxy. On the back of that, however, I did then carry out my bombing run. And it was successful.
Okay.
I managed to pin a couple of your guys.
I think you did one over the 4th.
I pinned one on the 4th.
Yeah.
And then I moved on to my next target. The 16th, I want to say.
16th Infantry Battalion. Brigade.
Yes. I pinned 2 there.
Yes.
Pinned 2 of those guys. Happy with that. I then moved on to the 2nd New Zealand Division.
Yep, they're a bit further back from the front, just on that main road.
And I pinned one of them. And then I went against the... You'll have to help me with this one, the small ones. The RNF? Or... Was it the RNF?
RTR.
RTR.
The Royal Tank Regiment.
No, that wasn't Mercer Matru. There was another one that I got.
Oh, King's Own Rifle.
Yes.
I think King's Own Rifle Company.
Yes. I managed to get some of them, I believe.
Yes, you pinned all of them because there was just one group there.
That's right. And then I went for Mercer Matru. And there I attempted to pin a piece of armour. And since I only got one battalion worth rather, it did not pin anyone.
Yeah, because my flak did pretty good work there. I think destroyed, was it 3 planes?
Yes.
And drove another one away.
And they were already pretty bad in their numbers. I think they were only dropping 88 bombs, and you shaved them down to 60-odd. So it brought it down to the point where I could only max out at 1. And that is what I got. I got 1, and that was not enough to pin armour.
Yeah, armour and guns cost 2 pins.
And your buddy here, he only got 1 pin. So that was a damn shame is what it is. But we live and learn.
We do. And then I did oh God, we really didn't get very much today. And then I did I did my bombing, resolved that. One of them on your... I just think of them, the southernmost one of your wall, the Serene.
The Serene, yes.
Serene.
63rd Serene, I want to say.
Yeah, I got 3 on them and I split them. I did 1 gun and 1 infantry.
Yes, you did. Which isn't great. That's my wall. I need them to move across. So you've pinned them. That's not great for me. However, I have been looking at how I can move around that. It's not the end of the world. It's just a bit of a hiccup in the world.
What, them being pinned?
Yes, those particular parts of the division. Well, division. I don't know if it is actually a division. I don't think it is.
It's 5 stacking points on the tile. So I think it's
one of the missing marker ones.
It's either a missing marker one or it's a division in game terms, but not a division in name.
Yes. Either way, it's missing the headquarter unit stripe.
Yes.
Which a few of my units are. So, yes, they took a pretty heavy hit in being pinned with a gun and an infantry. Out of 9 infantry, 3 guns and 1 armour. That's what you went for. I can work around that. I do still have a bit of a plan for this war moving further east, which is good for me. Bad for you.
That's where you're heading, so...
I'm going east. Mercer Matru is the destination on the map. That's what I've popped into my Google Maps. I've selected the directions section of the maps. I've then selected public transport. And then I've selected a specific route. And it's this route, Andy. This is the one I'm on. And it says it's delayed. And I believe that. It is. But it doesn't say cancelled. So I'll wait around at this stop for a while, and eventually I will hop on and I will get to my destination. You sly dog, I will get to my destination.
I'm sure you'll try.
However, following that, you carried out another bombing run.
I did. Those Saharans are still hanging out just above the Qatar Depression.
Yes, my Saharan detachment is still stuck.
And I just wanted to bomb them and sort of keep them in place.
So you strafed one of my heavy trucks. Yep. And then you bombed them and pinned... Was it just 2 infantry?
Yes.
Yes, you pinned 2 infantry. Yes, you did. I remember specifically one of the ones that you pinned. You pinned a good one. I'll tell you now. You pinned one of the better units.
Love to hear it.
So not pleased about that, but I can't do anything about it now, or can I? I can't. Is the answer. But it's nice to leave a bit of ambiguity in the air. In a world of certainties, Andy, I am an ambiguity. And you are an abstract concept.
I'll take it.
It's not a compliment.
They're pretty cool.
No. That's actually the least cool thing you could be.
It's eternity.
You want to be empirical fact. That's what you want to be. You want to be unshakable truth. You do not want to be interpretable.
Yeah, I'm fine being interpreted.
Then you're not art. You are not art.
I think it's true. I would be art and you would.
No, you're right. Yeah, no, I guess. What I'm saying is stop pinning the Saharan detachment, you fucker.
I guess what I'm saying is no.
Yeah. I thought that might be where we meet in the middle.
Bit of an impasse there because no.
Well, you can't blame a guy for trying.
Can't blame him for trying.
Well, there we go. And that's
I will blame you heavily if you succeed.
Well, get out the blame cannons, get out the blame throwers.
I'm just trying to think if any of our guys have flamethrowers.
I hope not.
They're around.
Cole Phelps did in L.A. Noire when he was in World War II. Or at least one of the guys in his squad had a flamethrower.
That seems like the worst job.
Having a flamethrower in the war.
Yeah.
You reckon?
Well, you've just got big cans of petrol on your back. And I don't know how long they last or how often the fire went up the tube and killed you. But it feels like it wasn't 0% of the time.
No, it would have happened on occasion. I feel like it must have a mechanism inside.
It's also kind of a horrible thing. Like, I know war is horrible, but flamethrowing someone feels like that's a particular weight on you.
Flamethrowers surely were designed to be environmental damage and not just for man-on-man combat.
You kind of hope.
One reason.
But, like, what are you using that for in, like, landscaping?
So the first reason I'll get onto is the nicer of the reasons, which is, tactically, that doesn't really make much sense. Because a flamethrower is short range compared to, like, a rifle or a machine gun or even a handgun, realistically. So if you're coming in with a flamethrower, you're a bigger target as well. You're going to get popped off.
I think it's for like sweeping trenches or just you fire it into a bunker and cook everyone.
Well, that kind of takes me on to the second point, the bad point, which is that, how dare you? That's so bad. That's evil. Of all the ways to kill people, being cooked is, at that point, you're 1 degree away from being food, and being food is one of the worst things you can be. Like,
You're not wrong.
I deeply fear being eaten by, like, a bear or something. What was that? You just flashed me a cheeky smile. You got that cannibal in you, man. You got that dog in you.
That Wendigo in me.
You do have that Wendigo in you.
Yeah, like being eaten would be bad, I guess.
You guess.
If I'm being eaten alive, yes, that's very bad. But if someone like shoots me in the head and then feeds me to pigs, I don't care.
Yeah, sorry. Being eaten alive is far worse than being eaten dead.
Yeah.
You can hold me to that.
I'll hold you to it.
Yeah. We'll do a Mythbusters type thing. Episode 1, we'll have someone eat part of your arm when you're alive. Episode 2, I'll kill you, and then we have someone eat the rest of you. And then we use a Ouija board to find out your verdict.
Flawless science.
Well, it's got a little bit of mysticism in there, but that's important as well.
They've never myth-busted magic.
They haven't, and I don't think they'd have a very good job doing it.
Couldn't do it.
Speaking of couldn't do it, we couldn't do much more than the airfield today. We did all of the air combat. We resolved that. I'm pinned, you're pinned, everyone's pinned. And we have a very important land movement coming up. One that will turn the tide of this whole scenario.
Yeah, I sort of planned my moves for an hour, and then we were full. Don't have time to actually do them, so... But yeah, it's a very important movement stage, so didn't want to rush that one.
Yeah, I waxed a little bit about what I could possibly do with my land movement. And the issue, of course, is I don't know what you're doing yet. so I can only react accurately once you've moved.
You did say you had a plan that would basically fuck up the scenario for both of us, which
Yes.
I'm very curious about.
I have a plan that really turns the scenario into a bit of a time trial kind of situation where both of us are put at odds against sort of the game itself to accomplish an objective. It removes a lot of the usual gameplay that we'd expect. And
don't do it then.
And it's not necessarily a fun thing, and it's not necessarily a stupid move. It's just a very, very risky gambit. It's also, I think, far too risky for me to try it. The only reason that I was really struggling to not do it is because I only would get to do this now. If I don't do this now, I will not do this in the main scenario, in the main game.
Right, because
it's so risky that it would ruin the game for me. It's a move that, for 3 turns for the practice scenario, is risky with a chance of meatballs. But if I do that in the main game, I think at any point, realistically, I'll probably lose.
Interesting. Can you say what it is if you're not going to do it? Or
I don't know that I'm not going to do it.
Okay.
I'm not 100% certain that it won't manifest.
Right.
Because again, there's a chance that I win by doing it.
Okay, so we'll leave that there. We'll see if you do it or not.
It's just a bit silly.
It feels like, from what you said, I'll recognize it when you do it.
You will, because you'll sort of look at me in, I guess, it'll be a compounding sense of anguish and anger. You'll be, in the context of the game, devastated by what I've done. And in the meta sense of outside the game, you'll be really annoyed at me for what I've done to our playthrough of the scenario.
Oh, cool. Interesting. You're definitely going to do it.
I don't know that I am, but I might. So watch this space.
Yeah, keep your eyes peeled.
But all in all, Andy, with the air stuff done and a huge land section coming up, possibly the biggest land section ever to rack this game table so far, how are you feeling about the game?
I'm not hitting bits of despair like you. Okay, I mean, that is how I'm feeling. Don't buzz that.
Well, you got one negative buzzer. You only get 2 more of those and then you're out.
Oh, okay. I'm kind of pessimistic about the game state, but still enjoying the game. I mean,
So you think you might lose?
yes.
Okay, that turns it around for me a little bit.
Oh, okay. I guess whatever gets you back on board.
If I'm going to win, then, you know.
But yeah, you've got your divisions both supplied nicely, it seems, and in like big blocks.
Yeah.
So I sort of have to take them all out.
I've got the wall, as they've been coined.
And then there's the 3 divisions at Fort Magdalena, or well, a bit east of it now at the old supply dump.
Yes, they're all hanging around there, ready to move in whichever area they want to. And then I also have a smattering of a sort of broken force along the border, made up of 2 to 3 divisions.
Oh, just slightly further back next to Bardia.
Yes, down the sort of strip south of Bardia. I've got it's not the black shirts. I think I've got one of the Libyan divisions. I've got the 62nd Mamara, I think it might be. And I think there's one more, but I don't know if I've repositioned them.
Bit with the slope ends and it sort of opens up a bit.
Yes, that's it.
Just off the coast.
Yes, so that little sort of pocket essentially between Bardia and Madalena.
Yeah.
That little wall there. So I've got that scattered down the border as well as an extra sort of fallback safety net if you manage to somehow punch through the wall or if you manage to sweep south and try and get through the Madalena lot.
Yeah, it's sort of reserve force to one or the other, depending where you need them.
Yeah, so I feel like I've got a good defensive point, and if I continue to move this force east, which has been my plan now for the last 2-3 op stages, this was, to be fair, a risky move that I was very hesitant to go for. The whole push hard east with everything. But I've kind of taken that with a pinch of salt and then moved it.
Yeah. I mean, because of those 6 turns, you sort of have to be aggressive anyway.
Yeah, there's always going to be a need for that, but I think I was so scared of doing it. Now that I have done it, it doesn't feel as terrifying as it was. I think that is a lot of the game. It's a bit like in Fallout New Vegas or any of the Fallout games where you hoard all of the mini nukes.
Oh, and just never use them.
Because it's like, well, I'll use this for a big fight. And then you get to the end of the game and you've not used any of them.
Yeah, I did a playthrough recently where I just used them the second I got them all. And it was actually a lot more fun.
Well, I guess, one, you kill the enemies that they're in the environment of, probably what they're designed to do. And two, you no longer have that hanging dread over you of, well, when will I use these? What are they important for? Every time you go into a big fight, you look at your inventory and you go, am I going to use them now? And you decide not to.
And because of having played New Vegas before, I know I don't need them because I finished the last game without using it. The last time I played, without using any.
Unlike Resident Evil, where I usually hoard the magnum bullets
For bosses.
well, I do that, and then I decide, well, if I use the shotgun only on the boss, then I keep the magnum bullets for later. And I'd say that every single boss fight. And then I'm at the end of the game, after having to reload like 15 times, I've got all the magnum bullets. And that's kind of the situation I feel like I'm in the game, where
You've like hoarded up stuff, but you haven't used it.
I keep on looking at my big bag full of magnum rounds and keep on going, well, if I keep these for now, I can use them later. But I keep on... I'm wondering if later will never come.
I mean, in 6 turns, probably not, but yeah, I'm hoping to do some damage on your wall, sort of push that back a little.
I don't know if you can tackle the wall in the way you think you can. I don't know what your plan is, but I'm just wondering if your plan accounts for everything that the wall is.
I mean, it certainly doesn't, because I haven't scouted them or anything. I don't know what's in there. I've got a bit of a sense now, because from bombing a couple of them, I know roughly the infantry tank gun distribution.
Yeah, you know the makeup of 9 infantry, 3 guns and 1 armor for the 63rd Serene.
Yeah, and I bombed one of the other ones. I've got it written down somewhere. I think it might be the first Libyan I bombed at one point.
Yeah, I think one of the Libyans has been bombed and fought, and then one of them is completely untouched.
Yeah, so I kind of got a sense, but finding out 9 infantry with 5 guns and a armor was concerning, to say the least.
And that's one of the 4 that are there.
Yeah, but I'm gonna go into them. I'm gonna try and see if I don't know how much armor you have, but I'm gonna hope my armor sort of swings it.
Well, one of those 4 is a tank. I'm not sure what the level of sort of organization is. It's not division, but I think it's whatever
Brigade?
one down is. I think brigade maybe. I think it's a tank brigade.
Yeah.
So I've got tanks. I've got armor.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't count on your armor swinging it.
Well, we'll see when our armor clashes, because a lot of your armor, from what we've looked, like the L-33s, are just literally couldn't hit the British tanks. So
Yeah, I'm hoping what I can do is overwhelm you to the point where it's just your tanks left, and then I'm fine. If it's just your tanks left, okay.
yeah,
If I can pick off everything else and I've just got 100,000 prisoners, 30,000 prisoners, I guess it would be.
yeah, you can't get.
There's not 100,000 prisoners to take.
Yeah, if you get 100,000, you're taking a big chunk of Cairo.
I'm taking civilians as well.
Yeah, you were neutral.
Yeah, but you know,
Yeah. Egypt never declared war,
I'm declaring
which
war.
is kind of weird because there was a whole war in that country. But
We're doing a war there right now. We're just doing war on their country. We're not doing it in their country.
sort of a grim distinction that only a ghoulish lawyer would make.
Well, I'm pretty sure that I'm currently taking the side of fairly ghoulish folk.
Yeah.
So if I was to try and think along their lines, I think ghoulishness is maybe the way that they would go.
Honestly, it would be bad for every other aspect of your life, but I think if you fought like the Italian commanders did, I'd have a big advantage.
Frivolously and foolishly.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, they thought the way that I don't, I guess. They're thinking, what if tomorrow never comes?
No, I think the problem was they were thinking, like, in 500 years, we're going to have rebuilt Rome, and we're going to be, like, the great heroes of it. What they weren't thinking of was, oh, shit, we don't have enough radios.
That's a good point. I'm thinking if tomorrow never comes.
Yeah.
If we keep playing this game, Andy, tomorrow never comes. This game is our life forever.
For a bit of it.
For so much of it. So much of it, Andy. Stop downplaying what we're doing.
It will be one of the things I look back on in my life and be like, that was a thing.
Andy, you don't get to look back on it. It's going to be ever present. What do you mean shrugging? I'm trying to scare you straight.
I mean, there's nothing to be gained by that because we're doing it.
Yeah, there is. You can feel the way I feel.
Why would you want that?
Because I don't want to be alone.
Then get happy.
Get happy?
Yeah, get
How am I going to get happy?
Just have a big smile.
Oh, fuck you.
Maybe some listener mail will cheer you up.
Oh, fuck you. Don't you use the listeners at me like that.
I'm engaging the accountability tool. Now buck your ideas up.
I mean, I guess it's kind of what the accountability tool's here for, but I feel like that was very underhanded of you. We do need to do the listener segment. We are obliged to. It's part of the podcast, but how dare you do it like that? All right. Well, we're going to go into it. Listener mail. Who have we got here? First of all, we've got Jeff. We spoke to Jeff before. Jeff's been in touch in the past.
Yeah, it's Jeff from Chicago again.
It is. That's how the email opens. It's Jeff from Chicago again, as we said. We've once again said it's Jeff from Chicago again. I just finished episode 51, and I had a thought. With how often you bring up Dungeons & Dragons during the podcast, how long until one completely filters into the other in your lives? Oh, that's not good. That means we have to play this game in Dungeons & Dragons, Andy.
No, that's not.
This is going to take over every aspect of our
We've got
life.
to keep them separate, church and state.
For example, in episode 51, you compare Rommel's rules in-game to a paladin. All the talk of dead camels will almost inevitably lead to camel necromancy. Or maybe that's just me. All the historical figures, who could easily inspire a variety of NPC characters, both friend and foe. It seems like you have a purpose-built op-4 for an intrepid DM to run with. Like myself, maybe? I'm intrepid. I've been called worse. Heck, it's barely removed from an Indiana Jones-style desert adventure, so your other friends shouldn't even risk aneurysms from sustained eye-rolling at the idea. Oh well, stay subtle, humble, and brave until I send you my next ridiculous idea, Jeff.
I feel like we could put it in the desert and our friends would be like, oh yeah, this makes sense. We're doing a sort of Egypt deserty campaign. And then when I started being like, I'm going to lug boxes from here to here so we don't die of thirst while we fight these ghouls, they're going to be like, what are you doing?
Well, the core issue with this, I guess, Jeff, is that the people who play D&D in our group, it's me, Andy, and our other friend. And our other friend is the one who introduced us to the campaign for North Africa. He's the one who told us about the wacky idea that it is. So everyone at the table will be acutely aware of what we're doing. I, as DM, will be, and as we've learned today, I won't enjoy that very much. Andy will clock immediately what's going on, and our other friend will... I think that's where the eye rolling comes in, because all we've done is we've subtly roped him into playing the campaign for North Africa without any of the merit of finishing the game and all of the detriment of ruining our favourite hobby.
Why is this character sheet called SGSU 7? And why have you given me 10 of them?
You'll never succeed with your evil plot. I swear to you, 28th Maori Division, you won't get away with this.
Now that's a scare. That's a high CR challenge.
That's actually the big bad guy at the end of the campaign.
They're initiating bayonet charge. We've got to run.
They use action surge, and then they sprint at you with their glaives. For anyone who plays D&D, that probably makes a lick of sense. For anyone who doesn't,
maybe
we're just being silly. But in essence, oh my god, what's going on? In essence,
there you go.
In essence, this always happens during the listener mail. I fumble it. I'm usually very eloquent.
Yeah, your tongue gets caught up.
And well put together. Cat's got my tongue. You know which cat it is?
Nope.
It's fucking Heathcliff. That bloody
He's
cat.
Coming back.
Jeff, in essence, I do fear maybe it does bleed into parts of my psyche. I do fear that this game holds too much of a grasp on my life. It's been once a week for a year.
So if we have it bleed in the other way, then if you could have a level 20 character from any class just dumped into...
Okay, I like this. So if I had to put any class of D&D character...
You get basically one, like, demigod with powers.
And they're going to be fighting for me as the current Axis forces in the scenario.
Yeah, they'll get their own overly complicated rules, but they'll basically do what a level 20 D&D character does.
I feel like there's a perfect decision here.
Okay, there is a right answer.
There is a right answer. Do you know what it is?
Yeah.
So on the count of 3, are we going to say the class?
Yeah, let's say the different classes on the count of 3.
All right, so 3, 2, 1, Druid. No, it's not Wizard. It's Druid.
How?
In this environment...
For control weather.
Yes, control weather, plant growth.
That's not useful.
Plant growth on a supply line. You can grow plants that slow down movement completely.
There have to be plants there to begin with.
Oh, fuck. I can't even do D&D right anymore, Andy.
You've lost it, man.
You could use tsunami across the coastline.
Yeah, for 300 feet.
Yeah. That's kind of the range of your guns, isn't it?
No.
What would you do with a wizard in this scenario?
Honestly, boring answer. A shitload of divination.
Yeah, right, okay, so you don't get a divination wizard. You can't see the future.
Okay.
So what would you pick then?
Necromancer wizard.
No, you'll get your subclass. You just get basic wizard.
Wizard. Wizard is the correct answer always when it's which D&D class in real life.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
Right, okay, well, I'm going to have to disagree out of principle, and not because I disagree. Well, Jeff, you've divided us further, but it's a very creative question that we've taken and ran with, and it's one that will lie heavy on my soul forever. But thank you for getting in touch. I look forward to your next email, and thank you for listening. Episode 51, you're gaining on us. You're right behind us. You're probably caught up. You're listening to this right now as it comes out. This, your first listen, it's probably come out right now, Jeff. This is my message to you, Jeff. Hi. Anyway, Andy, on to the next piece of mail. You got it there?
Yeah, damn it, don't have the name.
You lost it?
I've lost the name.
You lost the name?
Monty,
how could you lose Monty? It's a historical name for a historical podcast.
I should have known.
We're making history. It's a game about history.
Speaking of history, this subject is POW under the Japanese.
Oh, so it is very history related.
Yes. Good morning to you all. It's a nice overcast day here in Texas while I work. I have been up to date on the episodes for quite some time now and eagerly wait for each new episode. Yesterday I listened to episode 53, the latest at the time of this email, and you had talked about prisoners of war under the Japanese. My great-uncle Pierce, whom my brother is named after, was actually a POW under the Japanese in World War II. He managed to narrowly escape execution, survived prison camps without getting dysentery, collaborated with kind Japanese civilians who provided him with food, made elaborate fly traps in order to trade flies for food and cigarettes, carried an American flag the whole time with him, and was eventually released when the war ended, all the while writing a diary about the things that happened. My mother was later given these diaries and she transcribed them onto a blog for anyone to read about. I'll provide the link to it, read it for your own curiosity, and feel free to reference, read out, and share the link on the podcast. In fact, it would be incredible if Andy could do a history segment on it, although I understand it has no direct relevance to campaign for North Africa. I will say, as James has been pointing out this lesson, this is going to go on for 10 plus years. I'll probably get round to it.
Yeah, we have a long time.
We may be expanding from North Africa to just World War II at some point, but yeah. Regardless of what you do with it, I hope it provides an interesting read into what being a POW under the Japanese was like. At the beginning, the POW diaries, and then he sent a link. Unfortunately, due to the time period and the tension between the Americans and the Japanese, my great uncle Pierce does frequently use derogatory terms for the Japanese. Later in life, he said that he actually respected and appreciated many of the Japanese people, and the term was ingrained in him from being in the military. Thanks for that, Monty. I haven't started having a look at it yet, but I think we'll share the link. Might start putting like a useful link thing up on the website, and maybe send it over to you for put on the Instagram.
Yeah, I think that would be good. You've sobered me, Monty. You have. I feel like that's taken me out of the wacky mindset I was in. That's sort of grounded me and reminded me that this is the real world sometimes.
Yeah, and playing a game about stuff that happened to real people.
Yeah, there we go. That's that accountability tool kicking in. That is really the bringing the American flag around, because that's a sense of patriotism. You don't really in the UK. That's not really something that's very present in the same way that it is
sort of being
in the
co-opted.
US. Yeah, it's an odd topic in the UK.
Yeah.
It hasn't really been prevalent until it's prevalent in ways with very negative connotations. So we don't really have a whole bearing the flag sort of situation very often. It's certainly not one in a daily occurrence. So that dedication, especially from what I know of the cultural relevance of that, from both the American standpoint of the sort of allegiance to the flag, the love for it, and also the situation of a Japanese prisoner of war, the conditions they were in. And I don't know if this is blanket or if I've just sort of seen some of the fictional depictions of it and how grim it was. It's quite a chilling idea that someone was bold enough to carry that round with them in those places. Because from what I understand, it was not a very easy time to be a Japanese prisoner of war.
I haven't read it yet. I'm looking forward to. It's not going to be a light read, I don't think, but
yeah, I feel like that's going to be
definitely going to be interesting.
That's not going to be a sit-down bedtime read, Monty. I think what you've given me is something to read when I'm outdoors and I can escape into the natural environment afterwards. I imagine what your great uncle has put together is probably going to be a harrowing read, but definitely one I will tap into, because learning about this part of history isn't always pleasant.
It's also always interesting when you get a diary or a memoir where it's
a snapshot.
It's not like an overview. You get a very personal level on it.
Which, yeah, if anything, it's more accurate in... It depends what you're after, I suppose. But if it's about, an actual experience, that's going to paint someone's perspective, which is always through the lens of someone's eyes. They're their own person. And you've mentioned there about the terms that are used to describe people. There's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to be through the lens of time as well. It's going to be a lot of things that are seen through a wartime environment, not just necessarily the connotations behind different nationalities, but also this is someone who is a prisoner of war. That will very much differ from how we see being a prisoner of war for someone who's actually a prisoner of war.
Yeah.
If anything, they may see it, I don't know, this is a weird thing for me to maybe posit, maybe they'll see it not as bad as we would see it, in the sense that if we were in that situation, we'd probably have an instant breakdown. Whereas someone who's adjusted to a wartime environment, maybe they see it through a more hardened shell. I don't know. This is completely speculative, but I'm interested to give it a read because I don't know what that's going to entail.
Yeah.
But it's a very cool and personal anecdote to share there, Monty, and reading it will be a lot of fun. Again, fun. It'll be very interesting.
Yeah, informative, not...
Yeah, informative fun, not, let's blow party poppers fun.
Yeah.
But thank you for sharing that. I think a history segment could well be in play in the future.
I have been planning a sort of prisoner of war series, so I might
You'd
expand
mentioned
that to...
broader prisoner, maybe an anthology of different prisoners of war.
Yeah.
But we'll tap into it, and I think definitely the reality check perhaps I needed today. maybe that's got me out of things a little bit. But Monty, thank you for that.
Thank you very much for sending this stuff in. I always love when you guys send in both just general information, but also like personal connections to things.
Yeah, whether it's a board game thing, whether it's a World War II thing, or any war, or anything that's even tangentially related, there is something, like I just said there, about it being from someone's perspective rather than just facts from a book. There is something that really changes the way that we see things when it is someone's anecdote. So anyone with any sort of anecdote or anything they want to share at all, or ask, or just say, then send it over to us at info@warwithamate.co.uk. The website is warwithamate.co.uk, and the Instagram is just warwithamate. And we'll get around to it all. Our inbox at the moment is looking a little bit light.
Yes, we do have a backlog of some of the web forms from that people have sent in. So if you sent something in through that, don't worry, we've not missed it. We just haven't got around to it yet.
Yes, the web forms came through in a bit of a bulk mess, so we are currently sifting through which ones have been looked at in the past and which ones haven't. Our email decided to not show them, and now they're all amalgamated in one space. So we're trying to decipher which is which. But send it all over.
Love to hear from you.
We will read it all at some point. And it's always good because it snaps me out of it. It's accountability. And if you can't think of anything to send, just send something and tell me to play the game. Yeah. Tell me to play the fucking game.
Because you can't really complain about doing this when we've got a POW's diary.
Yeah, people are sharing very intimate details with us about
really
their family
experiences.
experiences.
Bad experiences not playing a game with your friend.
And here I am complaining about playing a game in a warm place. Suffering is subjective, Andy.
Yeah, I mean...
So I'm allowed to suffer a little bit as well.
Didn't say you weren't.
It was implied. I inferred it.
I sort of implied that you should, book your ideas up a little.
I don't think you didn't imply that at all. That was just...
No, I've said it several times.
That subtext was just text. However, we live, we learn. But if we are going to pry on the past, if we are going to look back and see how bad things were, how things could have been different, maybe you can take the wheel here.
Okay.
So what does history look like, Andy? In a nutshell, if you could describe history in 3 different colours, what would you describe it as?
Red. It's a lot of red.
Yeah, that's definitely a big one.
Grey.
Yeah, because that covers black and white, which is how history used to look.
And red, grey. We'll put some beige in there.
I guess for this particular period of history, because of the desert and stuff.
Yeah.
I'll allow
a
that.
lot of recent history.
I feel like recent history is very...
There's been a lot of fighting in pretty close to this region.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, there is a lot of beige going on. Okay, so with that being said, who is history today?
Today we're picking up and continuing the 7th Armoured Division, and we're wrapping up Operation Compass.
Let's see how it all ends.
Well, as we know, it's not been going well for the Italians.
Oh, God, no.
To quote one of them, I am more or less in the position of a captain in command of a ship, which is on the point of sinking because errors are present on all sides. That's a quote from everyone's least favourite 9 Lives Italian general, Rodolfo Graziani.
Oh, Graziani, you're a piece of shit, but you are speaking some truth to me right now.
A nice bit of allocating the blame elsewhere as well.
I wish I could allocate the blame elsewhere.
But we're entirely responsible for our stuff.
Yeah, and it's also less heinous.
Yeah. So we're picking up the Battle of Bedford. We're going from the night of the 6th of February to the 7th of February. But we're going to quickly just dart away. Because on the 6th of February, something very important to this whole thing happened.
Yes.
On the 6th of February, Hitler gave command of the Afrika Corps to Erwin Rommel.
Ah, a man we know. The spectre looming over this game.
Yes, so he's getting the job as this is happening.
Oh, he's rumbling in the distance.
He's coming. But yeah, we've left the 2-day raging battle back in Libya. At this point, the British have had the advantage. During the night, the 2nd Royal Tank Regiment who've been doing work, knocking out hundreds of tanks, are ordered south to help with the roadblock, but they won't arrive in time to have an effect on the final stages of the battle. While that's happening, the 7th Hussars are heading north, scouting and harassing the column and starting to look for people who are breaking away. So at 6:30 a.m., the 2nd Rifle Brigade, who are the ones who've been holding this roadblock, are heavily shelled by an organised effort to break through from the Italians. Behind this screening of artillery comes 2 columns of armour, roughly 30 tanks left at this point, and they're putting them into this attack to try and break through.
A lot of tanks.
Yeah. One of the columns actually does manage to break through the line of the 2nd Rifle and gets into the reserve area. The British do manage to slow this advance finally with accurate artillery fire on the remaining Italian tanks. However, the Italian tanks in response managed to take out all but the last gun.
Okay, so really eradicating what's going on.
Yeah. Despite the other guns being taken out, the battery commander, his Batman, which I didn't know was a role in the military, but...
Is that where he came from? Is that where Batman originated? The North African campaign?
Yeah. Who just seems, from what I can tell, is like a general personal secretary / executive assistant for an officer.
No, that's Alfred.
Yeah. Batman or Alfreds, I guess. So, yeah, the battery commander is Batman, and...
Sorry, what a stupid sentence.
It's going to get a bit dumber. The battery commander is Batman and the Cook. Form an impromptu gun crew and manage to knock out the final tank 18 meters from the officers' mess tent. So they really got in there.
Yeah, that's real up close and personal. No wonder the Cook's involved.
Yeah. This is the Italians' last major push, and at 11 a.m., General Virginio, the chief of staff for the 10th Army, manages to find the 4th Armoured Division and surrender, bringing the battle pretty much to the end.
I like that it's described as he finds them and surrenders.
There seems to be a lot of this where there's people looking for someone to surrender to.
Yeah, they want safety, they want food, they want water, they want a prisoner camp to be part of. Which again is where maybe there's a differing idea of being a prisoner of war depending on the theatre you're in. Because these people are actively seeking out somewhere to be a prisoner.
Yeah, this brings the Battle of Bedder Form to an end. As this surrender happens, white flags go up along the Italian column, leaving a battlefield that's 15 miles long, just covered in thousands of destroyed and abandoned vehicles, like 100 tanks and 100 guns. So in total from this, they take 25,000 prisoners, including 4 generals, including Electric Beard, which we mentioned.
Oh, yes, I remember Electric Beard.
Yeah, he managed to get out of Tobruk, and he's being chased, essentially.
So Batman is hunting for Electric Beard.
Yeah. I'd read that issue. In doing so, they wiped the Italian 10th Army from history.
That caught me off guard.
That's gone.
And there they go.
Yeah.
The 10th Army.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have them coming from Tripoli at the moment.
I think that's your overall, or is the 10th Army like a specific?
I'm pretty sure. I don't know if it's like an abstracted, because the 10th Army is very small relative.
Oh, it might be like HQ.
I think
for the overall, because like I've got the 8th Army. At the minute, it's the Western Desert Force, but later on, it's the 8th Army. But then that has all the divisions in it.
Oh, okay, yeah, I could be wrong, but I think the 10th Army is like a broken off group that's coming from there.
Right, yeah.
So, yeah, I'll have to look into that, but possibly.
To the north, the Australians capture Benghazi, and then they start heading down the road, which also sealed it all. In response to this, Graziani sent off a message to Mussolini on the 8th of February. Juice, these latest events have severely depressed my nerves and strength, so that I cannot continue to exercise command in full possession of my faculties. I therefore ask to be recalled and replaced. So, Mussolini will grant this request on the 25th of March, and he'll be replaced by Italo Garibaldi.
Did Graziani just shame quit the war?
Yeah.
That's...
I mean, you can't really look at what happened and go, anything other than this has gone horrifically badly.
What a fucking weasel.
Yeah,
How dare you do that? How dare you make this happen and then quit?
Yeah.
You rat fuck.
And then he just heads back to Italy and spends like 2 years just hunting anti-fascists in Italy. So it's like, oh, I couldn't win my war against like a determined opponent with like equal resources to us.
I'm gonna uproot
go
people.
Attack my own citizens who don't agree with me.
Cool. That's really going back to basics fascism.
Yeah. It was easier before we got this war kicked off.
What a coward.
Oh, yeah. So over the next 3 days, the British organised prisoners, tally their captured gear, and loot everything from the Italian convoy they destroyed. That included a lot of wine and chocolate. They also all got a fresh, clean Italian shirt. A bunch of officers got cars, and a bunch of random troops got motorcycles.
Everyone's getting dished out the spoils of war.
So this brings Operation Compass to an end. Originally meant to be 5 days, but between the 7th of January and the 7th of February, the British forces of just two divisions, the 6th Australians and the 7th Armoured Division, had pushed the front 500 miles against 9 Italian divisions. To do this, the Western Desert Force, or Corp 13 as it had been renamed, had 500 men killed, 55 missing, and 1,375 wounded. The RAF lost 26 aircraft, with even more being non-functional due to conditions and lack of spare parts, particularly once the Italians started using explosive ammo. On the other side of this sort of scale, the Italians' 10th Army, ceased to exist, but they they had 5,500 men killed, 10,000 wounded, and 133,298 men taken prisoner.
That is such a historical faux pas. That is just comical.
It's such a ratio. They also lost 420 tanks and 845 guns. The British started with 255 tanks. Operation Compass, obviously a massive success.
Beyond their wildest dreams.
Yeah, which is actually why, at this point, they've not planned for it to go this well, so they don't have the men in the region or the supplies to push into Tripoli. While this is happening, also, the Greeks are willing to enter the war if they get sufficient reinforcements. So because of this, the 6th Australians and the 2nd New Zealand, as well as the 1st Armoured Brigade, leave the theatre and head off to Greece. And then, despite the success of the 7th Armoured Division, they're heavily below strength. They're down to 12 cruisers and 40 light tanks. So the decision is made to withdraw them to Egypt. There was talk about disbanding them, but I'll quote Churchill here talking about the 7th. At the end of February, the 7th British Armoured Division had been withdrawn to Egypt to rest and refill. This famous unit had rendered the highest service. Its tanks had travelled far and were largely used up. Its numbers were shrunk by fighting and wear and tear. Still, there was a core of the most experienced, hard-bitten and desert-worthy fighting men, the likes of whom could not be found by us. It was a pity not to keep them in being, the nucleus of this unique organisation, and rebuild it by drafts and officers of men arriving trained, fresh and keen from England, and send them to pick whatever new tanks or spare parts that could be found. Thus, the 7th Armoured Division would be preserved a continuity of life and being resurrected in strength. So, at the end of February, they're back to Egypt. A lot of the forces that have done Operation Compass are, the 6th are gone. The 7th are back in Egypt being refilled, refueled, refitted. But yeah, keeping that core of the guys, because
you need them there.
You want that.
They're the best of the best when it comes to that desert warfare.
So we'll flick back over flick back up to Berlin for Hitler's reaction to this whole thing, just to give a sense of the alliance between the Italians and the Germans. Hitler's reaction was to joke to his generals that failure has had the healthy effect of once more compressing Italian claims to within the natural boundaries of Italian capabilities. So that's a fun thing for your ally to say about it. It's not the only reaction, though, because Erwin Rommel is on his way, and on the 12th of February 1941, he arrives in Tripoli with the Africa Corps, and on the 14th of February, the British will have their first encounter with German forces in North Africa. We'll get to that later.
Did you just drop a post-credit scene for your history segment?
I did.
Did you just drop a post-credit scene where Hitler is Thanos, dropping his Rommel Loki into the North African campaign? What a wild conclusion to Operation Compass.
Yeah, I mean, just an insane success.
It's insane that they went from a 10-day mission.
5.
Sorry, it was 5 days.
It was originally meant to be 5 days, and to push them back to the Egyptian border.
And they pushed them back 500 miles.
Yeah, fully out of the region of Cyrenaica, off the map. We're playing the game on.
Yeah, they take them off completely. That's absolutely bewildering that happened.
Yeah.
It's crazy that happened and then it continued.
Yeah. Well, they couldn't... It would have been interesting, and like one of those what-if forks in history, if they'd supported... Like, they'd sent more reinforcements in and they'd gone into Tripoli.
Yeah.
But I think part of the reason Operation Compass works is because the Italians were in a very defensive mindset. So the British could be incredibly aggressive.
Yeah.
Whereas Rommel is a very aggressive, like, even more so than this in a lot of ways, general, where you wouldn't be able to do this because he'd come round you, he'd hit you, like, head on. He wouldn't just sort of essentially do an organised retreat for a month.
Which maybe is the mindset I should go into when I'm trying to move forward. Maybe that is the if tomorrow never comes situation.
Well, that's a bit of advice we got in episode 3 from the Echoes of War guys, where he said, not just for this game, because he hadn't played it, but in general, if you were playing the Axis in a sort of realistic war game, you need to be aggressive, because eventually the Commonwealth, like, production
completely
and, like,
outweighs
Lend-Lease and stuff will eventually come and, like, overwhelm you.
So you need to be aggressive from go.
Yeah.
That is a good point. Maybe that's something I need to take on board.
For the full game, and I guess also the rest of the scenario.
Maybe the wall needs to keep moving further east. Maybe the push needs to be harder. Maybe I went too soft.
Because we're in the game, we're in October now, right?
Yes, we're in October.
So we're not up to the start of Operation Compass yet.
No, I don't think technically we are, no. I think Operation Compass comes in towards the back end of the scenario.
Yeah, I think Operation Compass might be if you do the 2010 version they call Operation Compass.
Yes. To be fair, I don't even know if Operation Compass is coined in the game scenario. I think it's got a different one. There's one before the Desert Fox.
Yeah.
There's Graziani's Offensive. There's another one which is 20 turns.
I think that might be...
and then the Desert Fox is right after that. So, yeah, that...
But crazy, like, the disparity in force sizes and the result. Like, if anyone listening who's, like, knows their history, I'd, like, love to see examples of, like, where a force of this outmatched has achieved these results.
Yeah.
This feels like one of the more successful military operations maybe of all time.
Yeah, in terms of what they set out to achieve. I guess not even set out to achieve, what they had to start with resource-wise.
And what they end up doing.
Yes.
Like,
even if you remove the fact that they had a mission in play, and you eradicate the idea that they had something in mind, if you just take the scope alone, how often is it that you get that? That's sort of a 300 type situation.
Yeah, but they, like, charge the Persian camp and drive them back to
Back 500 miles and then take all of them prisoner.
but that was General O'Connor and John Comby are two largely responsible, and they're both probably going to get their own episodes as like individuals. But I think that lunge across the desert to start the Battle of Better Form is an incredible, like, calculated risk. Like, they had 3 days of supplies left. Like, if they hadn't beat the Italians that day,
It's over.
so they could resupply from the, like, loot, they were done.
Yeah, it's do or die.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's Operation Compass, and we'll be we're picking up with the 7th again.
And what an operation it was.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. No, love that one. That's been a fun one. One, because it puts the fear of God into me when it comes to how I'm going to tackle the rest of the scenario.
Which is what the history segments are actually for.
I know you've been planting the seeds. But also as a slice of history, again, that I never would have come across, that is maybe, like you say, one of the most disproportionate successes in military history.
Yeah.
Because, again, I'm not much of a war history guy.
No, me neither. Like, maybe, like, it doesn't feel routine, but, like, if anyone would, like, email in with comparable stuff, I'd love to see it.
Yeah, if anyone knows of anything that matches this or outweighs it in any way, by all means, fire it over. Would love to hear that. I absolutely would love to hear that. But I'm excited to see what happens next in history, Andy. Right now, though, I'm
it
gonna...
seems like a much-needed common ground.
And now for something nicer. A little oasis in the war. It's time for some common ground. I'm trying the intro for common ground. I'm recording it. Maybe.
Yeah.
I need your support, Andy.
Okay.
I need to find some common ground with you. Not necessarily for the sake of you and I becoming friends, because the conflict that's coming, maybe next week, you and I will be at each other's throats.
Yeah, I'm going to need a good one.
But right now, I need to unite with you against the game. And I have for you an issue that is much more contemporary than what we've just been discussing.
Okay.
So my common ground, which is the segment in which you and I come together, we decide a topic, we find an agreement between the proposed topic, so that we can continue to fight this war at the end as friends. Mine is a gripe that I have with modern society, Andy.
A lot of them are.
They are. They're my... This is my grumble box. And today's grumble box common ground is modern day business terminologies and buzzwords need to be removed completely. They need to be eradicated. We cannot keep on throwing out these silly business words in workplaces that are just there for the sake
just
of it.
babble.
That babble is a very, very good way to describe them.
You know how we're just going to agree and talk about this. You know how like Star Trek has techno babble?
Yes.
A lot of bizno babble, but it's like you could be saying a real thing because we know how to manage people. We don't know how to build a fast and light engine, but it's as comprehensible.
Yes, and it's not quite legalese where it's like specialized. It's just nothingness said to fill a gap.
Yeah.
And there's one word in particular that has been floating around for me just in my periphery for the last like 6-7 years. And it's a simple word, and this might be me picking at nothing. Okay. This might be... I might just be hyper-fixating on a particular term that's griped me for no reason, but it's the word peace.
Peace?
Yeah, as in P-I-E-C-E. And it's when people describe things as a piece.
Oh, yes.
We're working on the HR piece.
Yes, because they've for some reason shortened piece of work, which would also not be a good way to describe it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, we've got this telephony piece. We've got this compliance piece. We've got this sales piece that we're working on. And I've noticed it only ever comes up as a haphazard term thrown around by usually management. And it's just, oh, yes, this is this X piece that we're working on. And what it makes me think is you don't really know what this thing is that you're encapsulating. You're trying to broadly position something, and you don't really know what you're positioning.
Yeah.
You don't have a word for it. Otherwise, you would say the...
Like new phone system.
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
Yeah, or you could even say project.
Yeah.
Where did project go?
Project's fine.
Project's broad. Piece is... There's two parts to it. One is... You're not Mozart. This isn't art. What you're doing isn't a piece in that sense, and that's where I feel like the etymology... Not even etymology, it's the same word. It's not the origin of the word, it's the bastardization of the word. Piece is not the right word. And secondly, it comes from the misunderstanding. It's the the R. It's the just filler word for what you're meaning to say. I don't like that, Andy. There's something about that really gripes me.
Yeah, I all that business speak is... It's just awful. Like, I don't know if you've ever been on LinkedIn lunatics on Reddit.
Oh, I have.
But this is like what you're complaining about is those guys who are... Thankfully, I've never been too close to the, like, startup founder culture, but that seems like that's on another level.
I think the closest time I had anything like that was I worked in sales a few years ago, and it was business-to-business sales. And... I really enjoy working with the company. It was a really good company, and the people were very grounded. But there were occasionally terms that I encountered when I felt like I was in like a suit style drama without any of the flash, flare, or reason to be in it. And I was like, it seems like terms that have been co-opted. And again, I think
throw one out there.
Yes, please.
Mindfulness. I'm not for years, but one of the first places I worked, was just constantly saying you need to be mindful and have mindfulness and stuff about different things. It was like, you mean think about it?
Yeah, you know what? That's it. It's sort of it's over saturating a sentence.
Yeah,
and I'm a bit of a wordy guy.
We're making a control panel for a dog track. We're not Zen. Don't try and make this spiritual. Like, nothing about what we're doing is mindful or Buddhist or whatever.
Yeah, don't attach connotations that aren't there. And I know that, you know, it's part of trying to influence people to get them on board with the project. Project, see how I said that? Not piece.
Yeah.
And it's part of that. You're trying to galvanize the team by using words that have ameliorative connotations, but there's something disingenuous about it. There's something that's either misinformative or insidious, and I usually find it hard to distinguish which it is.
I think it's like using flash and like the business terms to like hide when you don't know things.
Yeah.
Because the good managers, like the really good managers I've had, have been incredibly like plain spoken.
Yes. Likewise, when you just get the information delivered in a way that it's if anything, it's sort of underwhelming. And that's refreshing when it happens. When you just get given some information and it's just the information.
I don't know if I've noticed. I'm probably going to start noticing it now, but
Peace is a very interesting... Because again, it can come from well-mannered places. It can come from someone who's heard that term. Maybe someone's said that and it's been parroted back where someone's described it as, well, this is the X piece that we're doing. And then that's how it's been disseminated to everyone else. But what do you mean by peace? Because that's so broad. It feels a little bit like when someone tries to turn a negative term into a positive.
Yeah.
Because
it also makes it sound small.
Yes.
And it tends to be like, a project is like a thing. And it's like, a piece feels like it should be like, like a small piece of something, not months of work.
Yes, it's something that realistically I've got no reason to be frustrated at on the surface. But because I know that they can't... If I was to say, what do you mean by peace? What is a piece? What is a piece compared to a project? What is a project compared to a body of work? Where do these things align? And if someone can't really explain what that is, I'd become annoyed.
Yeah.
And I think that's nitpicky of me. I really do. And this isn't me saying this is objectively the way people need to think. But this is how I think, Andy. And this is what common ground is. It's not for me to be right. It's for you to agree. And I knew that you would agree with me on this. I knew that you would feel some solace here. And that you'd agree that this business speak, that's just nothing. It's just noise. Just say stuff as it is.
Yeah.
And I love a bit of wordplay. I love putting... If I find a new word that I like, I'll stick it in something. I'll say it. I'll use it every day for a week. Verisimilitude. Remember that one, Andy?
You love that one.
That one always comes up. I found that word and I fucking love it. I ran with it and I'll use it all the time. But I also appreciate that it's a silly word. And if someone was to say, what does it mean? I can tell you what it means. It's the aspect of how it compares to what it's trying to be.
Yeah.
The accuracy of something to what it's trying to imitate or replicate. But if you can't tell me what it means, I'm not happy with that. I'm not. You need to be able to boil it down to the simplest thing. And if you can't hold your hand up and then just say, I'll use a different word then. And it's a me flaw. It really is. It's not that it's wrong. I just really don't like it.
I think that's fair. I agree. I don't think management needs its own lingo because it's not... Like, you can have the lingo for the thing you're doing, like construction or whatever. Management doesn't need its own that stretches, like, just across management as a concept.
Yeah, abstract management doesn't need to have a language.
Yeah.
It should just be the thing you're doing. It should be, yeah, if it's construction, it should be the building zone or whatever it is, whatever terminology it is. It's got its own terminology for a reason.
But it should be within the vertical you're managing in, not this weird management layer that sort of seeps across everything.
Yeah, because I feel like peace could be used to describe anything you're doing at your job and anything I'm doing at my job, and we have vastly different jobs in terms of the day-to-day.
Yeah, and there's probably some dumb business book that's like, when a worker is handling a piece, it's like, well, everyone's handling pieces differently in their industry, but you've tried to make all this, like, applicable.
Yeah, you can't do that. It doesn't apply to everything. It needs to be differentiated. A bit like what we're doing, Andy. This needs to be differentiated. The war with the mate, peace. It's going to go on forever.
It's not a piece.
It's not a piece.
It's
you know
all of
what?
it.
You know what? This is a piece. This is a piece of art. And I will bleed for this art, Andy. I'm bleeding for this art now because I don't know that this is going to be as short as I hoped it would be.
It's just not, man.
I just thought time would be different than it is.
Look, we'll finish the scenario piece and then we'll get on to
onto the full campaign piece. Well,
I'd quite like them to, if they are going to use the terms, add campaign.
Yes.
Like, this is our new, like, customer outreach campaign. It's like, they have it in marketing, but do it internally.
Yeah, do it internally. I like that one because I use it in D&D.
Use it in D&D and this. It's a word I weirdly use a lot of.
I guess what I want, Andy, is in order for me to feel comfortable in situations, I want everyone to accommodate me and for them to stop using things that they've heard, stop using terms that make them feel comfortable, and accommodate me in every which way and form that they can, just so that I don't feel slightly bothered.
Well, that's the only way to be comfortable.
It is. And I think if everyone were to do that and just accommodate me in every walk of life, I wouldn't have many problems.
We can certainly agree on that.
Well, Andy, now that we've reached that common ground and that you've just said that, you agree with that very clear point. Is there anything more to be said?
Stay subtle, humble, and brave. Thanks for listening.
And in the deserts of your minds, it's not the peace of your mind. It's not the peace of the desert of your mind. It's just the broad, expanding, and eternal deserts of your mind in which there might not be tomorrow. But if there is, send us an email at info@warwiththemate.co.uk or our website, warwiththemate.co.uk, or just our Instagram, just warwiththemate. And you'll hear from us next time. You simply must. Who knows what's going to happen? It's going to be a big one. Good night.